You feel it, that gnawing in your gut, the unsettling whisper that something is deeply wrong. You see the person you love, the one who lights up your world, but their eyes, they're different. A shadow flickers behind them. A coldness you've never known seeps into their touch. You try to reach them. You call their name. You plead. But your voice, it's lost. It echoes in a void. They don't hear you. They don't see you. You are invisible. A ghost in your own life. This pain, it's a unique kind of agony. To witness a slow erosion. To watch a soul you cherish drift further and further away, pulled by an unseen tide. You remember the laughter, the shared dreams, the warmth that filled every room. Now, there's a hollowness, a vacant stare, a cruelty that cuts deeper than any blade. It's not the person you know, not the one you swore to protect, not the one whose heart beats in rhythm with yours. You've tried everything, talked, cried, begged for them to see, to snap out of it, but your words bounce off an invisible shield. They twist your concern into accusation. They deflect your love into anger, and you are left alone, standing on the precipice of a nightmare, watching your loved one descend into darkness. This is not a metaphor. This is a war, and you are fighting it alone. You feel the weight of their struggle. You feel the chill that emanates from them. It seeps into your bones. It whispers doubts in your ear. Is it you? Did you do something wrong? Are you not enough? The enemy thrives on this. It feeds on your confusion. It amplifies your fear. It isolates you, making you believe you are the only one who sees, the only one who feels. But you are not alone. Not truly. There are others who have walked this path, others who have seen the same vacant eyes, felt the same crushing despair, felt the same sting of being dismissed, of being told you are imagining things, that it's just a phase, just stress, just a bad day. They don't understand. They can't. They haven't stood in the wreckage. They haven't seen the cracks appear in the foundation of a soul. This is where you stand now, at the edge of understanding. You've seen the subtle shifts, the unnatural irritability, the sudden, inexplicable anger, the whispers of paranoia that seem to come from nowhere, the loss of interest in things they once loved, the withdrawal, the isolation. These are not simply personality quirks. These are tremors, warnings. The earth beneath their spirit is shifting. You've noticed the changes in their speech, a shift in tone, a cold, calculating edge that wasn't there before. Perhaps they've started to enjoy causing pain. Perhaps they revel in discord, a subtle enjoyment of your suffering. It's a chilling realization. It's a betrayal of the highest order. This isn't just a mood. This is a transformation, a perversion of everything you hold dear. You might have seen it in their eyes, a hardness, a glint that speaks of something ancient and malevolent, a cold, predatory stare that seems to look through you, not at you. It's a gaze that chills you to the bone, a gaze that says I am not myself, or worse, this is who I am now. And you are terrified because you know the truth. You know this isn't just a sickness of the mind. You felt the atmosphere around them change, a heavy, oppressive energy, a sense of dread that clings to the air. You walk into a room and the light seems to dim. The joy drains away. A palpable darkness follows them like a shroud. You can't explain it. You can't rationalize it. You just feel it, a suffocating weight that presses down on your chest. And the lies, the insidious, pervasive lies. They come so easily now, so naturally. The truth becomes a forgotten language. They weave webs of deception trapping themselves and anyone who gets too close. They twist reality. They gaslight you. They make you question your own sanity. Because the entity controlling them wants you isolated. They want you broken. They want you to give up. But you can't. You were chosen for a reason. You have a strength you haven't yet tapped. You have a resilience forged in the fires of your love. This darkness, it preys on the weak. It recoils from the light. And your love, your unwavering love, that is your light. That is your weapon. You are the one who sees, the one who feels, the one who refuses to turn away. You are the watcher in the shadows, the guardian of a fading light. This path is treacherous. It is isolating. But you are not defeated. Not yet. You are about to uncover the truth. You are about to face the unthinkable. And you are about to fight for the soul you love. This is the beginning of the unmasking. This is where the darkness is finally revealed. A chilling silence descends. Not the quiet of peace, the quiet of absence. A void where connection used to be. This is divine isolation, a separation, a sacred space carved out. It feels like abandonment, like being left behind. But it is the opposite. It is a shield, a fortress built by grace. Imagine a shepherd. He gathers his flock. He knows the wolves prowl the edges. He doesn't leave them exposed. He calls them closer, into the fold, away from the lurking dangers. This isolation is that fold. It's a deliberate drawing in, a protection from unseen predators. The world outside its walls is a hunting ground, a place where snares are set, where whispers of doubt can take root, where the enemy thrives on chaos. You feel it as a painful loneliness, a deep ache in your soul, a question mark hanging over your existence. Why me? Why this emptiness? Why this stark withdrawal? The answer is not in condemnation. It is in preservation. Think of a delicate seed. It must be buried deep in the darkness to sprout, to grow strong. It is not being punished. It is being prepared. This period of isolation is that burial. It's a time to be shielded from the harsh winds of corruption, from the relentless storms of worldly influence, from the seductive allure of things that will tear you down. It's about pruning. A gardener carefully removes branches, not out of malice, but to allow the tree to flourish, to direct its energy, to bear better fruit. This isolation is that careful pruning, cutting away what would drain your life force, what would distract you from your true purpose. The darkness you perceive is a veil, a temporary dimming of the external lights, to allow an inner luminescence to ignite, a light that cannot be extinguished by external forces. When you are isolated, you are less susceptible to the subtle manipulations, to the insidious lies that masquerade as truth, to the spirit of rebellion that seeks to usurp divine authority. Your spirit is being refined, like precious metal in a furnace. The dross is being burned away. The impurities are being purged. This feels like suffering. It feels like purification by fire. But it is forging something stronger, something more radiant. This is not a punishment for sins. It is a preparation for service, a sanctuary for the soul, a space where you can hear the whispers of the divine clearly. Without the deafening roar of the world, you are being set apart, like the ancient priests, called to a holy purpose. They didn't mingle freely with the masses. They had a sacred separation to maintain their purity, to be vessels fit for God's work. This isolation is your sanctuary, your holy ground. The enemy wants you scattered, weakened, divided. He thrives on your mingling with his territory. He loves to see you entangled, distracted. But divine isolation is a strategic retreat, a regrouping, a strengthening of your inner defenses. It's a time to feast on the bread of heaven, to drink from the wellspring of living water, uninterrupted, undisturbed. The pain you feel is the shedding of an old skin, the breaking of old chains, the letting go of attachments that were holding you captive. It's the birth pangs of a new creation. You are not being abandoned. You are being commissioned. You are not being punished. You are being consecrated. This feels like the end of everything, but it is the beginning of your true purpose. Look beyond the surface. See the divine hand at work, guiding you, protecting you, preparing you. This is not the darkness of despair. This is the sacred darkness of the womb, where new life is being formed. Resilient, pure, powerful. It is a silence, a profound stillness that descends, not an empty void, but a sacred space. This is divine isolation. It feels like being adrift, cast out, alone in a sea of faces. But look closer. This aloneness is a shield, a deliberate separation. The world's noise is a siren's song. It lures us to the rocks, to distraction, to compromise. Divine isolation cuts through that cacophony. It silences the whispers of doubt, the seductive lies of the enemy. Imagine a shepherd. He gathers his flock, but one lamb strays. The shepherd does not abandon it. He lifts it, places it on his shoulders, carries it away from the wolves, away from the precipice. This is divine isolation, not abandonment, but rescue. The enemy thrives in the crowd, in the chaos. He sows discord. He breeds confusion. He exploits weakness born of conformity. But in the quiet solitude, his power wanes. His illusions shatter. Think of a sacred grove. Ancient trees stand sentinel. Their roots run deep. They are not jostled by passing winds. They are not swayed by fleeting trends. They are anchored, grounded. This is the essence of divine isolation. It is being rooted in truth, unwavering, unmoved. It is a refining fire. The dross is burned away, the impurities purged. What remains is pure, strong, resilient. This isolation is not a sentence. It is a sanctuary, a place where the soul can breathe, where the spirit can hear the whisper of the divine. It is the crucible where faith is forged, not in the heat of the masses, but in the quiet furnace of personal encounter. The world tells you to blend in, to be like everyone else, to conform. But the divine calls you apart, to be distinct, to be unique. This separation is a sign, a confirmation. You are being prepared. You are being shielded. It is like a pearl forming, irritation, a foreign body. But over time, it is transformed, encased, perfected into something precious. Divine isolation is that process. The discomfort is temporary. The outcome is eternal. The enemy wants you entangled, bound by earthly desires, distracted by fleeting pleasures. He wants you lost in the labyrinth of human connection, where his influence can spread like a shadow. But divine isolation offers a straight path, a direct line to the source. It clears the clutter. It removes the obstacles. It is the eagle in its eyrie, high above the fray, observing, waiting, unburdened by the distractions of the forest floor. The world may see it as loneliness, as failure, as being left behind. They do not understand the purpose, They do not grasp the protective embrace. This is not punishment. It is purification. It is not rejection. It is selection. You are being carved, shaped by the master craftsman. His hands are gentle. His purpose is divine. The silence is not a void. It is full of his presence, full of his guidance, full of his power. Listen to the quiet. Hear the truth. Feel the protection. This is divine isolation. This is your strength. It's a silence that can feel deafening, a stillness that screams louder than any crowd. Divine isolation. It's not a banishment, it's a sanctuary. The world rushes, a torrent of noise, distraction, and deceit. It pulls you under, drowns your spirit, blurs your vision. But in the quiet, the fog begins to lift. You're not being punished, you're being preserved. Think of a precious jewel. Held too close to the fire, it cracks, tarnishes, loses its luster. So it's taken away, placed in a cool, dark vault, safe, untouched. That vault is your divine isolation. It's the Father drawing you into his secret chamber, shielding you from the heat of the world's anxieties, the whispers of doubt, the sharp edges of ungodliness. The enemy thrives in the marketplace. He peddles lies in the public square. He sows discord in the crowded rooms. But he cannot find you in the quiet garden. He cannot reach you in the Holy of Holies. This separation is a pruning, not to wound, but to strengthen, to cut away the dead branches so the living ones can flourish, to redirect the sap to where it truly needs to flow, towards him. It's like an eagle's nest, high on a cliff face, isolated, exposed to the elements, yes, but also to the vastness of the sky. From that height, the world below looks small, its dangers diminished, its temptations powerless. You are being lifted. You are being given perspective. The flock can be scattered, torn apart, led astray by wolves in sheep's clothing. But the lone lamb kept close to the shepherd's side is secure, protected by his presence, guided by his voice. This stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness, a fullness that can only be received when the world's clamor is silenced. It's the space where your soul can breathe again, where the echoes of his love can resonate, where the whispers of his truth can be heard. You are not alone. You are in his embrace. This season of being set apart is a sacred trust, a holy pause, a divine recalibration. The world screams for your attention. It demands your energy. It tries to define you by its fleeting standards. But in this isolation, you are being reminded of your true identity, forged in the fires of his love, refined by his grace, marked as his own. The enemy wants you to feel abandoned, to believe you are forgotten, to succumb to the despair of solitude. But this is where your strength is being renewed. Like a warrior in a hidden training ground, preparing for a battle you cannot yet see. You are being equipped. You are being consecrated. You are being made ready. This separation is a covenant, a promise whispered in the quiet, a sealing of your destiny. The noise of the world is a distraction from the deep. The shallow waters are full of storms, but the deep waters, they are calm, they are still. They hold ancient wisdom. They reflect the light of eternity. You are being drawn into the deep. The enemy cannot follow you there. His power is limited to the shallows, to the surface struggles. In this divine isolation, you are diving into the ocean of his peace, resting in the immensity of his power. It feels like being stripped bare, vulnerable, exposed. But it is in that vulnerability that you find your true strength. The strength that comes from surrender. The strength that flows from dependence. The strength that is His. This is not a prison. It is a portal. A gateway to a deeper understanding. A closer walk. A more profound communion. The world offers comfort in numbers, in conformity, in distraction. But true comfort, true peace, true strength, they are found in Him, and sometimes He must draw you away from the noise to reveal them. This isolation is a whisper of His glory, a foretaste of His kingdom, a sanctuary for your soul. It is protection, not punishment. It is peace, not loneliness. It is a divine embrace. In the quiet, in the stillness, in His presence, a sacred hush falls, a stillness that feels both profound and terrifying. It's the quiet before the storm, or the quiet after the battle. This is divine isolation. It's not abandonment. It's not being cast out. It's being drawn in, pulled closer to the divine fire, like a potter shaping clay. The hand of the craftsman works in solitude to mold something pure, something strong, something meant for a sacred purpose. You feel the world recede. The clamor of the mundane fades. Voices that once guided you now seem distant. Their counsel, once comforting, now feels off, like a melody out of tune. This separation is a shield, a protective bubble of grace. The enemy cannot breach it easily. His whispers are drowned out by a higher frequency. His temptations lose their luster. When you are bathed in the light of the divine, think of it, the precious gemstone. It is not found in the bustling marketplace. It is deep within the earth, until it is ready to be unearthed and revealed in all its glory. This isolation is a crucible, a place where impurities are burned away, where faith is forged in the flames of solitude. It tests your reliance, not on others, not on yourself, but on the one who holds your very breath. The enemy thrives in the crowd, in the chaos, in the distractions that blur your vision. He sows seeds of doubt among the masses. He exploits the vulnerabilities of the connected. But in the quiet, in the sacred space carved out for you, his power wanes, his influence weakens. This isn't a punishment. It's a purification, a deliberate setting apart, like a chosen vessel. Set aside before it can be filled. You are being prepared for a task, for a revelation, for a deeper communion. The world might see it as loneliness, as an emptiness, but you are not empty. You are being filled with a presence that transcends all understanding. The desert. It is a place of stark beauty, where life clings to existence with fierce tenacity. It is not barren. It is focused. Every drop of water, every ray of sun, is utilized with divine efficiency. So too are you. In this isolation, your spiritual senses are heightened. You begin to discern the subtle, the unseen. The whispers of the divine become clearer than any earthly voice. The enemy wants you entangled, bound by earthly ties, distracted by the superficial. He fears the soul that is unburdened, that stands alone yet is not alone, because it stands in the shadow of the Almighty. This is not a time for despair. It is a time for deep listening, for introspection, for surrender. Allow the divine hand to guide you, even when the path is unclear, even when the silence is deafening. Trust the process. The separation is not to break you. It is to remake you, more aligned with the divine purpose. The eagle soars in solitude, above the fray, unburdened. It is in that space of elevation that it gains its keenest sight, its greatest power. So too with you. This divine isolation is your ascent, your preparation, your protection. Embrace the stillness, for within it lies your strength, your clarity, your unshakable peace, the silence. It's deafening, isn't it? That holy quiet. It's not emptiness, it's fullness, a sacred space. God carves out pockets of peace. In the whirlwind, in the chaos, He doesn't abandon. He refines. He purifies. Think of a potter at his wheel. The clay, it spins. He shapes it with gentle hands, but firm. There are moments when the clay must rest, away from the heat, away from the noise, to harden, to solidify, to become strong. This is divine isolation, not a curse, a consecration. The world clamors. It pulls. It demands. Its whispers are insidious. Its seductions are subtle. They chip away at your spirit, at your resolve. God calls you closer to His own workshop, where the air is still, where His voice is clear. He isolates you to shield you from the infection, from the contagion of doubt, the plague of despair. It feels lonely, I know. The ache is real, but you are not alone. You are held in His palm. He is your refuge, your fortress, your highest tower. The enemy wants you scattered, weak, vulnerable. He thrives on division, on discord, on separation from the source. But God gathers you into His inner court, where the lions may roar outside, but within there is peace. Consider the desert fathers. They fled the cities, they sought the wilderness, not for punishment, but for communion. They found God there, in the starkness, in the solitude. Their isolation birthed revelation. Their quiet forged strength. Their separation from the world was their immersion in Him. You are being set apart for a purpose, not to be broken, but to be built, stronger, truer. The world's embrace. It can be suffocating. Its acceptance. It can dilute your truth. God's embrace. It is life. It is clarity. It burns away the dross, the impurities, the falsehoods. You feel the separation, like a shedding, a peeling away, layers of compromise, of conformity, of cowardice. It hurts. The old skin, it clings, but the new skin, it is tougher, more resilient. It is armored in His grace. This isolation, it is a crucible. It tests your faith. It refines your character. It purifies your motives. It sharpens your focus. You are not being punished. You are being prepared for what lies ahead, for the battles to come. God doesn't send the unprepared. He equips the chosen. He isolates the chosen to equip them. You are in His sacred silence. Listen closely. His voice is the only one that matters, the only one that heals. The world's noise, it fades. It loses its power. In the stillness, you hear His heart. You feel His presence more intensely. This isn't a prison. It's a sanctuary, a place of divine recalibration, a holy pause. He is removing the distractions, the idols, the false gods that compete for your devotion, that steal your strength. He wants you, all of you, undivided, uncompromised. So embrace the quiet. Lean into the solitude. It is not a sign of abandonment. It is a testament to your value, to your importance, to your destiny. You are being set apart for His glory. And in that separation, You will find your true strength, your deepest peace, your most profound connection to the one who holds you, who guides you, who loves you. This divine isolation, it is the prelude to your greatest unfolding, your most glorious emergence. Do not fear the quiet. It is where you will hear him. It is where you will be made whole. It is where you will become who you were always meant to be. Stronger, pure, unshakable, set apart, but never forgotten. Covered, not by the world, but by his light. This is the sacred space, where souls are forged, where spirits are refined, where divine purpose is revealed. Rest in his stillness. Trust his process. Your isolation is his protection. Your quiet is his presence. You are in the Master's hands, being shaped, being prepared for the victory that is already yours. The silence, it descends, not the quiet of peace, but the heavy hush before a storm, a divine isolation. It feels like abandonment, like God has turned his back. You're adrift, no anchors, no sails, just the vast, empty ocean of your own soul. But look closer. This isn't punishment, it's preservation. Think of the potter. He doesn't just mold the clay, he isolates it. He places it on the wheel, away from the dust, away from the debris, ready for transformation. This isolation is a sacred space, a crucible. The world outside is a cacophony of distractions, lies whispered in the dark, temptations that claw at your spirit, demonic whispers disguised as reason. They feed on chaos, on mingling, on the careless touch of the profane. God's protection is often a partitioning, a holy boundary. He draws you into the secret place, the Holy of Holies, where the air is thin and the Spirit communes directly. It's a divine quarantine, not to punish, but to purify. Imagine a shepherd. He sees a lamb straying towards the wolves. He doesn't scold. He gently nudges it back into the safety of the flock. Sometimes the flock is small, just you and the shepherd. The others are still caught in the wilderness, their cries a distant echo. This aloneness is a sharpening, a refinement. The world's noise drowns out the subtle promptings of the Spirit. It dulls your spiritual senses. You become numb, unaware, vulnerable. In isolation, the divine voice speaks louder. It's the only voice. The soul listens, truly listens. It discerns the true from the false, the holy from the unholy. The whispers of your enemy are exposed by the clarity of God's truth. This isn't the loneliness of despair. It's the solitude of destiny, a spiritual cocoon where the butterfly of your soul prepares for its wings, the shedding of the old self, the emergence of the new. A divine masterpiece in progress. The enemy thrives in the crowd. He sows discord. He fuels envy. He twists relationships. He uses loved ones as conduits for his darkness. He revels in the mess, the confusion, the brokenness that comes from being entangled. But in your divine isolation, that entanglement is broken. You are pruned, like a vine, to bear more fruit. The dead branches are removed. The weak ones are strengthened. You are prepared for a deeper connection, not to the world, but to the divine. This separation is a shield, a spiritual force field. It deflects the arrows of negativity, the venom of gossip, the insidious lies that seek to divide and conquer. It's God's way of saying, stay close. I have work for you, and the world is too dangerous right now. Think of a pearl. It's formed in the quiet depths of the ocean, isolated, protected by its shell. It's not exposed to the harsh currents or the predators. Its beauty is cultivated in stillness, in solitude. Your soul is that pearl. God is the ocean. The divine isolation is the oyster, protecting you, nurturing you, until you are ready to shine, to reveal the radiant beauty within. The feeling of being left behind is a lie. You are not left. You are gathered into the arms of the Almighty, into a sacred space where healing begins, where strength is renewed, where the enemy's influence is rendered powerless. This solitude is a privilege, a sign that you are chosen for a deeper purpose, for a more profound walk. It's a time of intense spiritual growth, a time of preparation for what lies ahead. Don't mistake the stillness for absence. It is presence, the pure, unadulterated presence of God. He is with you, in the quiet, in the solitude. He is your shield, your guide, your ultimate protection. The world will call it strange. They will try to pull you back, into the fray, into the familiar chaos. But resist. Trust the process. Trust the divine intention. This isolation is your salvation, your sanctuary, your path to true freedom. It's where you learn to hear His voice above all others, where your faith is forged in the fires of quiet trust, where you become unbreakable, unwavering, a vessel fit for His glory. This divine isolation, it's not the end, it's the beginning of everything that truly matters. This is where the veil thins, where the ordinary cracks open. You've seen the shadows, felt the chill. Now you must understand the mission. It's not a choice. It's a calling, forged in the crucible of despair. The darkness isn't just an enemy. It's a teacher, a brutal, unforgiving mentor. It strips away the comfortable lies, the easy answers. It forces you to confront the raw truth. And in that confrontation, something ignites. A spark, then a flame. This is the birth of inner power, not the kind that's handed out, not the kind that's built on privilege. This is power earned through struggle, through sacrifice, through staring into the abyss and refusing to blink. You see the ones you love. You see the subtle shifts, the glazed eyes, the vacant stares, the words that don't sound like them. You recognize the subtle influence, the whispers that twist good intentions, the seeds of doubt that sprout into despair. It's a spiritual war, fought on unseen battlefields, within the hearts and minds of those closest to you. And you are on the front lines, not with weapons, but with awareness, with a fierce, unwavering love. This mission demands everything: your courage, your resilience, your very soul. The darkness tries to isolate you, to make you doubt your own sanity, to convince you that you are alone. But you are not alone. You are connected to a force far greater than yourself. This force flows through you. It amplifies your senses. It sharpens your intuition. You start to see the patterns, the ancient tactics of manipulation, the ways the darkness preys on fear. It uses insecurity. It exploits past traumas. It thrives on division. And you begin to understand. This isn't about individual battles. It's about a larger fight. A fight for the light. A fight for the souls of humanity. The inner power you develop is a shield, It's a beacon. It's your spiritual armor. It allows you to stand firm. When the winds of deception howl, when the voices of despair try to drown you out, you learn to discern, to separate truth from fabrication, to recognize the subtle venom in seemingly innocent words. This mission is not for the faint of heart. It requires immense strength, a strength that can only be forged in the deepest shadows. You witness the erosion of personality, the slow dimming of a spirit, the subtle corruption of a soul. It's a heartbreaking sight, a deep gut-wrenching pain, but it fuels your resolve. You see the divine spark within them, even when it's nearly extinguished. You hold on to that light. Your mission is to protect that spark, to fan it back into a roaring flame. This is where your spiritual mission truly begins. It's not about casting out demons. It's about reclaiming what's been lost. It's about reminding them of who they are. Beneath the layers of darkness, beneath the influence, you become a guardian, a protector of the innocent, a warrior for the light. The power you develop is not about control. It's about liberation. It's about setting them free. It's the power of truth, the power of unwavering love, the power of spiritual clarity. You learn to navigate the darkness, not by fighting it head-on, but by shining your own light. Your light becomes a compass for those who are lost, for those who are struggling. You see the world differently now. The mundane fades away. The spiritual realm becomes palpable. You understand the stakes, the eternal struggle between good and evil, and your role in it. This is the spiritual mission, unveiled, uncompromising, unstoppable. You are the lighthouse. In the storm, you are the hand that reaches out in the deepest night. The darkness may rage, but it cannot extinguish the light within you. Not anymore. You have been forged in the fire. You have emerged stronger. You have a purpose, and that purpose is to fight for the souls of those you love, for the future of humanity. This is the unmasking. This is the awakening. This is your spiritual mission. The shadows lengthen. Darkness seeps in. It's not just a feeling. It's a presence, a tangible chill. You see it in the eyes of someone you cherish. A flicker, a vacant stare, a coldness that wasn't there before. The laughter that used to warm your soul now sounds hollow. Or worse, it's replaced by a venomous hiss. They're still there, your loved one, but something else is wearing their face. Something ancient, something hungry. This isn't about a bad mood. This is a hijacking, a spiritual invasion. The veil thins, and the darkness finds its entry points. It exploits vulnerabilities, fears, regrets. It whispers lies, twists truths. It feeds on discord, on despair. It wants to break them, to break you. You fight back, not with fists, not with shouts. You fight with love, with unwavering belief. You remember the person beneath the pallor, the light that once shone so brightly. You hold on to that memory. You use it as a shield, as a weapon. This is your spiritual mission, unbidden, unwanted, but yours. The universe has thrust this burden upon you, to stand against the encroaching night, to be a beacon in their storm. It's a lonely path, a terrifying one, but you are not alone, not truly. Look within, deep within. The darkness you face mirrors a darkness that resides within you, or once did. You wrestled your own demons, you stared into your own abyss, and you emerged. Scarred, yes, but stronger, transformed. That struggle forged you. It tempered your spirit, like steel in a blacksmith's fire. The heat was unbearable, the hammering relentless, but the result is a blade, sharp, resilient, ready for battle. This is the power you've cultivated, unseen, untapped, until now. The darkness you conquered within is your greatest asset. It allows you to recognize the enemy, to understand its tactics, to not be consumed by its fear. You developed an inner resilience, a spiritual fortitude, built brick by painful brick, each setback a lesson, each tear a cleansing, each moment of doubt a catalyst for deeper faith. You learn to trust your intuition, to discern truth from deception, even when the deception wears the face of love. This mission demands everything: your courage, your empathy, your unwavering resolve. There will be moments of despair, when the weight of it all threatens to crush you, when the darkness seems insurmountable, when you question your own sanity. But remember the fire, remember the forge, remember the strength you found when you thought you had none left. That strength is still within you. It's amplified now by the urgency of the situation, by the love you hold for the one you're trying to save. You are the protector, the warrior of light. You stand between your loved one and the encroaching void. This is not a passive role. It's an active defense, a constant vigilance, a spiritual warfare waged with love as your armor. The darkness seeks to isolate, to sow seeds of distrust, to make you doubt your own perceptions. Do not let it. Hold fast to the truth, to the essence of the person you know and love, even when they seem lost to you. This is where your inner power truly awakens. It's not about grand gestures. It's about quiet persistence, about holding space for healing, about speaking truth into the darkness, about refusing to surrender. You become a conduit, a channel for divine strength, for unwavering hope. Your own light intensifies. It pushes back the shadows. It illuminates the path for them, even if they cannot see it themselves. The transformation is profound, not just for them, but for you. You are being reforged, your spirit refined. You are discovering depths of strength you never knew existed. You are becoming the warrior you were always meant to be. The stakes are immense. The enemy is cunning, but your mission is clear. Your purpose is defined. You are the light in their darkness, and that light will not be extinguished. You will fight. You will persevere. You will bring them back from the brink. This is your spiritual mission, and you will not fail. The shadows whisper. They always do. But this time, the whispers are different. They're not just outside. They're inside. They twist familiar faces. They warp loving eyes. You see it. You feel it. A coldness where warmth used to be. A stranger in a beloved skin. This is the unmasking, the agonizing reveal. The moment you realize the darkness isn't just a concept, it's a presence. It has a name, and it's found its way into the hearts of those you hold dearest. You thought you knew them. Every laugh line, every shared dream, every secret whispered in the dark. But the darkness doesn't care about history. It craves the present. It devours innocence. It twists love into something unrecognizable. The signs are subtle at first. A flicker of anger, a sudden cruelty, a dismissive wave of the hand where comfort once resided. You brush it off. stress, a bad day. We all have them. But the flickers become flames. The cruelty becomes a constant companion. The dismissiveness turns into outright rejection. Then come the changes you can't ignore. The loss of empathy, the chilling detachment, the way their words cut like shards of ice. They speak of things they never would have before. They embrace ideas that feel alien wrong, deeply unsettling. Their very essence seems to shift. A hollow echo where a vibrant soul used to be. You search for answers. You look for explanations. You replay every conversation, every interaction, trying to pinpoint the exact moment the light began to fade. But the darkness is cunning. It moves in silence. It seeps into the cracks. It doesn't announce its arrival. It simply takes root. And then you see it. The eyes. They hold a vacant stare, or worse, a glint of something ancient and malevolent. The smile doesn't reach them anymore. It's a mask, a cruel imitation of joy. They are physically present, but their spirit is gone, replaced, occupied. This is not a metaphor. This is a war, a spiritual battle fought on the battlefield of the human soul. And the enemy has infiltrated your own ranks. It wears the face of your child, your parent, your best friend, your lover. The pain is unimaginable. It's a visceral tearing of the spirit. You are fighting something that looks like home, something that speaks with a voice you know. But the words are poison. The intentions are destruction. You feel helpless, utterly, terrifyingly alone. How do you fight an enemy that is already inside? How do you save someone who doesn't want to be saved, who perhaps doesn't even know they need saving? This is where the true darkness resides, not in the abstract fear of the unknown, but in the tangible, heartbreaking reality of what happens when the ones you love are no longer themselves. When their inner light is extinguished, replaced by a foreign, chilling glow. But even in the deepest abyss, a spark can remain. A flicker of defiance, a refusal to surrender. This is where your spiritual mission begins. It's not about fighting the demon directly. It's about reaching the soul trapped within. The darkness is a crucible. It forges resilience. It demands strength you never knew you possessed. It strips away illusions. It reveals the core of your being. And in that raw, exposed core, a new power begins to bloom. This power is not born of anger or fear. It is born of love. A fierce, unyielding love that refuses to be extinguished. It is the love that remembers the person before the darkness. The love that believes in their inherent goodness even when it's hidden from sight. This inner power is developed in the silence, in the long nights of watching, of praying, of holding on to faith when all evidence points to despair. It's in the quiet acts of compassion, even when met with hostility. It's in the refusal to mirror their darkness with your own. You learn to see beyond the distorted facade. You learn to hear the faint cries of the soul beneath the demonic whispers. You become a beacon, a steady light in the encroaching night. Your presence becomes a sanctuary, a reminder of what they have lost. The darkness tries to break you. It throws its worst at you. It uses the voices of your loved ones against you. It feeds on your doubts, your insecurities, your deepest fears. But you stand firm, anchored by this newfound inner strength. This spiritual mission is not for the faint of heart. It requires immense courage, unwavering determination, and a profound understanding of the spiritual realm. You are not just a witness, you are an active participant, a warrior of light. The darkness has its power. It thrives on chaos and despair. But your power is different. It is born of unity, of compassion, of an unbreakable connection to the divine. It is the power of remembrance, the power of hope, the power of unconditional love. You become a channel, a conduit for divine grace. You radiate a light that the darkness cannot extinguish. It may recoil, it may lash out, but it cannot consume you. Not when you are fueled by this sacred mission. The path is arduous. There will be moments of profound doubt, of crushing exhaustion, but you must persevere, because the soul of your loved one depends on it. And in this fight, you discover your own true strength, the unyielding power forged in the heart of the darkness, the power that ultimately will lead to their unmasking and their salvation. The shadows lengthen. They stretch insidious across the landscape of the soul. You see it now, the subtle shift, the flicker in their eyes, a coldness where warmth used to reside. This isn't just a bad mood. This isn't a passing phase. This is a deeper corruption, a foreign presence, demonic influence. It's a poison, slow acting, corrosive. It seeps into their thoughts, twists their words, warps their actions. You recognize the pattern. The familiar person you knew is slowly being erased, replaced by something other, something hollow, something hungry. The signs are there. They are unmistakable now. The sudden irrational anger, the uncharacteristic cruelty, the chilling detachment, the way they push away everything good, everything pure. They become a vessel, a conduit for something ancient and malevolent. But this darkness, this terrifying descent, it's not the end. It's a crucible, a brutal, unforgiving forge. And within that fire, something else is being born, something powerful, something resilient. This is where your spiritual mission truly begins. Not in the light, not in comfort, but here, in the heart of the abyss. This is the proving ground, the place where true strength is forged. You are called to this, not by choice, but by destiny. To stand against the encroaching night, to be a bulwark, a beacon, even when you feel your own light dimming, even when the whispers of despair threaten to consume you. The darkness reveals. It strips away the illusions, the comfortable lies we tell ourselves. It forces us to confront the raw, unvarnished truth. And the truth is, we are capable of more than we ever imagined. The fight isn't just against an external force. It's an internal war, a battle for the very essence of who you are, for the soul of the one you love. You must delve into the deepest parts of yourself, unearth the dormant power, the divine spark that resides within. This power isn't learned from books. It's not bestowed by ceremony. It's awakened by trial, by sacrifice, by unwavering love in the face of unimaginable horror. You see the entity at work, its tendrils reaching, its influence spreading. It feeds on fear, on doubt, on division. Your mission is to starve it, to sever its connection, to reclaim what has been lost. It requires a fierce, unwavering resolve, a conviction so profound it shakes the foundations of the spiritual realm. You must become the antithesis of the darkness, the embodiment of light and love, even when surrounded by shadow. The inner power you develop is born from this struggle. It's the quiet strength that refuses to break, the courage that faces the abyss without flinching. It's the understanding that even in the deepest despair, hope can still find a foothold. You learn to discern, to see beyond the facade, to recognize the echo of the true self buried beneath the corruption. This recognition is a weapon, a powerful tool. The spiritual mission demands everything: your sanity, your peace, sometimes your very life. But the reward is immeasurable: the restoration of a soul, the triumph of good over evil. You are not alone in this fight. Though it may feel that way, there are forces at work, unseen allies, ancient wisdom guiding your steps. You just need to be open, to listen, to trust the intuition that flares within you. The darkness tries to isolate, to make you feel powerless, but in its attempts, it inadvertently strengthens you. It forces you to tap into reserves you never knew existed. This is the transformation, from victim to warrior, from observer to active participant in the cosmic struggle. You are no longer just witnessing the unmasking of darkness. You are actively fighting it. Your love becomes your shield, your faith your sword. You learn to wield these weapons with precision, with an intensity that burns brighter than any infernal flame. The spiritual mission is a lonely path, but it is a path of profound purpose. You are the protector, the healer, the one who refuses to surrender. The inner power is not about brute force. It's about spiritual resilience, about the unyielding commitment to truth and light. It's about holding on to the essence of what makes us human, what makes us divine. You face the entity, not with fear, but with a quiet, determined power. You see its true nature, its vulnerability. It cannot withstand the force of genuine, unadulterated love. The darkness may try to break you. It will test your limits. But within you lies a strength forged in the fires of adversity, a spiritual power that has been awakened. This is your mission: to stand firm, to fight on, to bring back the light, to reclaim the soul that has been lost in the shadows. The battle rages, but you are ready. You are armed. You are powerful. You are the mission. The veil thins. Shadows deepen. You see it now. The subtle shift